There was a fight in me. There was something that told me not to lay down and die. So I fought. I went to detox. After a really hard couple months, I went to detox. And there I called my mother-in-law because I wanted to talk to my children. That's when I was told no. That's when I was told no, I couldn't see my kids. And I didn't know what to do. I left detox and I was homeless. I didn't want to go back working for that lady. I was lucky there was another pimp in town who was willing to take me on, and he knew what I had been through. So he told me he'd put me on phones and give me one chance to get cleaned up. I was on the street. I was homeless. I was 24 years old and I was homeless yet again. But I got cleaned up. I went 3 months of being clean. I still wasn't able to see my kids. The only way I could make any money was to stay in the industry, and so I tried killing myself. It was Christmas 1999. I tried killing myself. Because I didn't have my kids. Nobody. But you know who I had is I had God. And little did I know that. I ended up in the hospital for about 2 weeks. And my only comfort in that 2 weeks was the chapel at that hospital. God got me through that. I spent 2 weeks in the hospital. I told them everything I had been through, about what had happened to me. And at that time, human trafficking was not that common. So they looked at me and they told me that I was disabled, that there was something wrong with me, that this had happened to me, that there was something wrong with me. And this affirmed what I already believed, what I already knew about myself, that there was something deeply wrong with me. I was just unlovable, is what I had thought. I was just unlovable. So, upon leaving the hospital, part of the agreement of them letting me out of there is I had to go stay at the Elizabeth Fry Society, which was a place for women getting out of jail. But she even told me something, that there was something more wrong with me. I had nowhere to go when I got out of there. I had nobody to turn to, so I turned back to what I knew. Second pimp. It was my better option. And although I tried to stay clean, I couldn't stay in that industry and stay clean. So when I was about 27 years old, I made up my mind that I was going to get out of the industry and I was going to go back to school, and which I did. I started having visitation with my children. I started babysitting other kids, and I did everything in my power to not go back. And I didn't have a church. I didn't have people guiding me. I didn't have anything. I knew there was something greater than myself. But when it came down to it, 4 years later, I was unable to find a job. I had been cleaning houses, I'd been going to school. I just couldn't find a job. My kid's birthday was coming up. Christmas was coming up. How was I going to make this happen? Guess what? Went back into the industry. And even though I managed to stay clean for that 4 years that I had been out of the industry, didn't take long, but a couple months of me being back into the sex industry for me to be back on drugs. And this would be a pattern in which my life would follow over and over again. And every time I would try to get out of the industry, it didn't work out for me. This doesn't come with a handbook about how to leave the sex industry, how to get out of trauma, doesn't come with a handbook about how to love yourself, to know that you're worthy, to know that I was worth more. I was worth more. Drugs took over most of my 30s. And when I talk about drugs, I talk about cocaine, I talk about every form of trying to escape. I had promised God that I would never try to kill myself again. And so, even though I didn't purposely try, I wasn't exactly trying not to die.